What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now, taking you all the way up to lock. 7:30 lock. That's why we're joining you all at 5:30 on the East Coast. Crunch time coming in around 6:45 and change. Roth holding that down. Kirkwood, Kirkdiese jumping in as well. And producer extraordinaire spinning all the plates. TJ Zwarych, the greatest DFS player in all of Saskatoon, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatchewan. Canada will be joining that show as well. We'll be producing this show, myself and Chop. Happy Tuesday. Happy Television Tuesday, Chop. Get excited. We don't get these very often. We do have a Television Tuesday. We'll be dropping those clues momentarily. What's up, Chop? How are things in your world?
They're not bad, Dean. Ruthless is giving a good shout out there. We dropped a serious plum last night on the show. Dropped a serious plum.
Kirk, right?
Christian Kirk just
hammered
him. It's crazy how the plums pay off sometimes. A lot, man. They're pretty high frequency on the plums playing off. So I'm happy with that. It was good. But, of course, you had to have Houston's defense to really get busy last night. And I didn't have enough of that. But I had plenty of Kirk and captain, and it pushed me to a pretty good profit. If I could have paired some Houston defense in the flex, oh, man, would have been cooking with some hot grease. But, hey, it happens. That was a good way to go out. If that's the last one I do this year, I'm not sure. So feel good about it, Dean.
I've not taken a look at the schedule. I guess I can pull it up. And you're not even aware. You may or may not be on a show.
We know there's no Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football left.
I guess it'll be Sunday, I suppose, over the only.
I'm not working on Sunday. So it would have to be the Super Bowl. It would have to be one of those shows. It would have to be one of those shows later on down the road that's shot during the week. So maybe not. I'm sure something's going to pay off.
There's got to be I assume.
I'm sure they're going to do them on the weekends, but
yeah,
I don't do the weekend stuff.
Maybe you don't partake.
Shows. Nah, no. Gotta have some time to marinate on my lineups and stuff, Dean. I can't just be pushing out shows all weekend. You guys it's too much for me. So I take a break during the weekend, but hey. There was some good football this weekend, Dean. I ain't gonna lie to you. The last night's game was a blowout, but other than that, those other games were intense, man. Intense. Came down to the 2-minute warning, most of them. In fact, up until the last game on Sunday, the 2-minute warning, whoever trailed the 2-minute warning actually came back and won the game in the other games. So
that's pretty wild.
It is. It was really fun, good slate. We got some more coming up this weekend, topped off by Monday night's national championship game for college football. Ready, D. We got a whole hour and 20 minutes, only 5 games. Let's talk a little nonsense. Let's do nonsense talk, man. Who's gonna win it all, Dean, in the NFL now that you see the first weekend play out?
I mean, it's proven what we've known the entire year. There are no really great teams. There's no elite teams. Parity is real and legit, and I'm a little bit biased. I have futures on 3 of the 4 AFC teams now. So just as long as it's not Houston, I hit a future. As far as being the AFC representative, Don Yeezy and Jet saying Seattle. Because every team you can poke holes in, right? Like there's no team that's impervious. Seattle, it's like Sam Darnold. You really trust this guy, in 2 or 3 important games, but what does he have to actually do? Assuming that their defense does what it's been doing. He probably doesn't have to do a heck of a lot. And when he throws the ball to the best receiver in the NFL. And that's what he's asked to do. I don't have a good answer for you. Like Buffalo very clearly is it's an imperfect team, but Josh Allen is the best quarterback left standing in the playoffs by a fair margin, right? Who's the second best quarterback right now that's currently in the playoffs? Maybe I'm missing something. Is there an obvious answer on this?
I don't think it's obvious, but Stafford's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. Sure, but like Mahomes is out, Lamar is out. There's several that are out that are upper echelon, but not a perfect team there. Buffalo. Did you see the line? You happen to catch the lines on these? Have you looked at it yet? You want to guess?
Oh, let's do the guessing game, Dean.
I know. So I have the answers in front of me. But do you know what the Denver and Buffalo, what the line is? That's the first game.
I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Well, what would you guess if you're going to prognostic?
So it's at Denver, so they're going to be the favorite, but probably not by that much. I'd probably say Denver minus 1 or 2.
So what's interesting is we have Buffalo opened as a 1.5 point favorite, and now Denver is a 1.5 point favorite.
Okay, interesting.
Which is they're basically saying Denver is the same as Jacksonville, but then they said, well, wait a second, Denver is slightly better than Jacksonville now that they're the home favorite because Buffalo was a 1.5 point favorite at Jax, and give or take, that's kind of where it landed. San Fran, I assume Kittle's done. I'm assuming he's done for a long time.
Career might be over, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see the official ruling on that, but San Fran's at Seattle. Seattle gets to play with 12 guys on defense. They're minus 7.5 versus the Niners.
You didn't let me guess, but
yeah, I didn't get the number. I was just setting it up. I wasn't going to tell you.
You what? Didn't you just say 7.5?
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. You're right. I screwed up.
But it was a fun game while it lasted.
It was a hell of a run. We just need Houston to lose to New England, which, by the way, New England, I'm not sure how good they are. I mean, and they had a super easy schedule. They
may catch a big break this weekend. It's gonna be tough for Nico to get back out of concussion protocol on a short week, and Houston, has to do the traveling here and just all kinds of weird stuff. A lot of things taking shape for New England to get to that AFC Championship. A lot of things are working in their favor, but I'm with you though. Houston's tough road, but I mean, you got to, Stroud. Come on, man. You just do a Trent Dilfer. Just don't turn the ball over. You've got a generational defense. Just don't turn the ball over.
It feels like he's been worse since 2 years ago, whatever it was. It's just, I don't know. He peaked as a rookie, which is kind of strange. Chicago. What's that?
Well, I'll tell you, he definitely peaked as a rookie. He's definitely had some serious regression. And I don't know, Dean. I don't want to, make assumptions, or I don't throw this out there lightly, but honestly, I think his favorite weapon, his favorite target, the guy he wanted to throw the ball to the most, the guy who had the most chemistry with, was Tank Dell. And when Tank went down, maybe that kind of hurt him a lot. Tank Dell is not in the same stratosphere as Jackson Smith and Jigba, but they have some same qualities, meaning Jackson Smith, not big, and he didn't time out well with his metrics at the combine. He's not that fast, but when you watch him on the field, he's just always open, Jackson Smith, just always open, man. Nobody can cover him. He's a great route runner. Tank Dell's the same way. Didn't test out very well. Very, very small, but he's always open. I think CJ Stroud's missing that, but he's definitely regressed. He can take care of the ball. Houston's a handful, man.
Who was the receiver they called 7-Eleven because he was always open? Who was that guy? Remember this?
No, but I think they all kind of refer to themselves. I mean,
let me know in chat. Who was Chris Hogan? They called 7-Eleven. Remember Chris Hogan? Very briefly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. What world was he always? All I saw was a bunch of calisthenics he was doing on the field, man.
I mean, it was a window where I don't know if that nickname was held true his entire career, but there was a moment where he was called that. Maybe I feel like that was something we saw on Hard Knocks, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's going to be crazy cold in Chicago. A team like the Rams jumping in Chicago probably doesn't. It definitely fits the Bears. Like, they're not the better team, and you can argue they got super lucky to beat the Packers basically every time this year. But the environment is set up for a tough matchup for the Rams. But did you have a winner? Did you have an answer? Have you changed since week one? Did your week one team?
Yeah, I've definitely changed. I've definitely changed as of a month ago. I would have thought a month ago, I just said the Rams are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the most complete team, good quarterback, all that. And I still think they're one of my two favorites to win it, but I do think Seattle ends up beating them head-to-head there. Or they might not even play head-to-head. Chicago may pull this upset this week. But I think Seattle's the more balanced team, and they got that guy, man. You get a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 7, you need to play. Just get the ball to JSN. That's all you got. He's that kind of a guy. So I trust Seattle a little more. Rams defense taking a turn for the worse this last month, including the playoff game against Bryce Young. They've taken a turn for the worse. They're not as balanced as I thought they were. I'm going with that. I don't think that defense is going to hold up long term. Josh Allen's great, but I don't think the defense can hold up long term. Poke a whole lot of holes. It's the opposite of Houston. Houston, great defense. I don't know if Stroud can stop making those boneheaded mistakes on the road.
Not great. Running back's not great. Receivers aren't great. Like, he doesn't have much around him, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, he didn't have to do much though with that defense, but you got to take care of the ball. I'm not sure he can do that and make a play. So a lot of holes in all those guys, but and Denver's just like number 1 seed, but they're just that unimpressive, like barely squeaked by everybody all year. I don't know. Maybe they turn it on right now. Who knows, man? But yeah, I think I'm on the Seattle train right now. At home field advantage, got that playmaker on offense, great defense. Yep.
We're going to talk basketball in a second. I want to throw out one theory to you, Chop. One theory. We got plenty of time to knock out basketball. 2 hours still. Promise. We're going to get to it in just a second. But I'm going to say Carolina losing, blessing in disguise for Carolina. Because they win this game, they feel obligated to sign Bryce Young long-term. And, like, spending real money on a quarterback that has no chance of being a top 10 quarterback in the league, you're just setting yourself up for mediocrity at best. Like, you're basically Tua 2.0. So, and they still might sign him long-term. Who knows? But blessing in disguise, because Bryce Young's not the guy you want the next 6 years, because there's no chance, no matter what scenario you paint, where he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
No, but they may have to sign him anyway.
They shouldn't, but it's a terrible idea. You want the 32nd quarterback before you want the 17th best quarterback.
No, I understand that aspect, but you're already committed so much to him. If you let him walk, what are you going to do? You're going to be like Pittsburgh and just try to pull guys off the waiver wire constantly for the next 7 years.
Seattle got a Band-Aid.
That's what it is. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Darnold's a Band-Aid, and he's fine.
He's fine, but he's also like Carolina. You'll be lucky in this league to have a supporting cast like Darnold has. Like, Carolina won't have that kind of a defense anytime soon. They won't have, Clint Kubiak calling plays for him anytime soon. That's a pretty elite supporting cast for Darnold, but teach his own, man. Whatever. But they might be cut pocket because they didn't just draft the guy number 1. They traded to get there. And all this other stuff. They just to let him walk.
That shouldn't factor in on your decisions going forward. I understand the point you're making.
It does, though.
That shouldn't factor in. Okay, this is DFS. We care about today and today only. Today we're talking about the 5-game NBA slate. Far as who's in, who's out, body parts are monitoring. What's beautiful here, both FanDuel and DK, they dropped the last games, so we have a flat-out sprint slate, 7:30 on the East Coast to 8 o'clock on the, it's a half-hour window. Half-hour window here, Chop. 1 game at 7:30. Did I say 7 o'clock? 1 game, 7:30. 4 games, 8 o'clock, and that's it. That's it. You do have a couple games later. One of them is on Peacock, the back half of the doubleheader. I believe that is, I'm not sure if it's Atlanta or the Lakers or Portland, Golden State. First half is the Peacock doubleheader is San Antonio and OKC. OKC, finally, I think this is our last chance to beat the Spurs in regulation. The Spurs, I want to say, I've got them 3 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. Lou Dort was just ruled out in that game. The Bulls are missing a lot of dudes. Kobe White is out for Chicago. Giddey is out. Collins is still out. Julian Phillips, potentially. He's questionable. And right now they have 11. They will get knocked down to 10. Your boy Şengün came back for Houston on the other side of that game. Denver is a big one. We're monitoring the Nuggets. Back half, front half stuff. Front half, Chicago, Denver, New Orleans. Back half, just the Lakers. We don't care about that. So just 3 teams in the front end. Chicago, they take on Utah tomorrow. Denver is at Dallas. New Orleans is at home versus Brooklyn. Big deal is that Jamal Murray is questionable. And if he doesn't go, basically nothing left standing for New Orleans. Brown is out. Gordon's still probable. But, Cam Johnson's out. The Joker's out. And Valanciunas is out. People that are actually questionable, I guess Murray's the most important one on this slate. Norm Powell from Miami is questionable too. Otherwise, Miami is pretty healthy, basically fully healthy. Did you want to say anything big picture wise? I guess the Murray thing is big news, and when we get it, we'll get it at worst in the 7 to 7:30 window, 7:30 to 8 o'clock window. So I don't know. It's a true 50-50 for me as far as Murray playing. I have no idea, but that can certainly shuffle things up. We have if-then stuff. But as of right now, with Ant ruled out, and Edwards. T-Wolves. Minnesota is hitting a ton of optimals and then running it back with Giannis. It's the super, super obvious thing to do. It looks good. And, it's not Minnesota, yes or no. It's how much Minnesota, because and also Rudy Gobert. He was a bad guy. He had multiple flagrant fouls. I think 6 was enough to get him the suspension. So it's the old combination platter of both Ant and Gobert out. So we're expecting Naz Reid to draw the start, as well as Bones Highland, DiVincenzo, McDaniels, or Randall. There's a chance it's Mike Conley starting for Bones, but Bones clearly projecting better than Conley. Chop, anything we're monitoring, anything you want to keep an eye on before we dive into the old game by game and give the people the first clue for Television Tuesday?
Nope. No overview.
Being told in chat that Powell is in. Was that just happened? Yeah, 2 minutes ago. Powell is in for Miami, so Miami is that's the first game we'll talk about. So we'll dig in here. We'll give the people the first clue for Television Tuesday. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about in the Discord channel. Be the first person to do so. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Your first clue is scrolling right now. TJ is all over. It is Queen. Queen. What TV show? One guess per clue drop. TV show. RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. You get all the bells, all the whistles, all the sports. You even get golf. Golf is back this week. Football, basketball, baseball, PGA, NHL, NFL, everything. Optimizer, SimLabs, all the goods for a week. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about. Chop. Phoenix, Miami. The only game at 7:30, 230.5 is the total. Did I say basketball? I'm going to take the guys from South Park. I don't know how deep of a roster you can get for basketball, but I'm sure Chop was a fan of basketball back in the day. Suns taking on the Heat, 230.5. That is the total. The Suns are 1.5 point dogs here. They are really healthy. The only player that's not healthy is a player that's been out basically all season long, with the exception of a few games. That's Jalen Green. And then Miami, well, Hero's in with his toe. He's got a rib as well. He's still good to go. Pele Larson's available with his finger. And Norm Powell just rolled in with his back. So both teams fully healthy here in Miami. How do we feel about the Suns and the Heat?
Yep, first game on the board. Only game starting early, so it's interesting what you're going to do with this one, because it's not a terrible game. But, man, the Murray news could really shake you up after this one locks. You never know when that's going to drop. But Miami's relatively healthy enough to where nobody's going to pop off in projections as much. So they're okay. Phoenix has been a relatively solid defensive team this year. So it's not like, you're walking through them and they're not playing defense. Like last year, they just weren't playing defense with that personnel they had. This year they are. So they're not easy. I don't really have anybody from Miami highlighted, but they're fine. Anybody could go off in a GPP. Now for the Phoenix Suns, they've got some players here. Devin Booker's fine. They're pacing up here. That's good. Dylan Brooks is fine. And I've got the guy I like the most in this game, just GPP, is Mark Williams. It's mainly because, we are going to get some more pace in this game. Miami's going to push it up a little bit. There's a direct correlation in the NBA with how much a team wants to push the pace, how many possessions they want to go up and down the court, correlated to, the blocks and the steals and those abstract plays you get in the NBA that's going to lead to defensive points. And so when Miami pushes the pace, they give up a lot of blocks and steals and things of that nature, fast break points on the other end and stuff like that. Mark Williams is one who could probably thrive in that role. He's the biggest, guy. Him and Dylan Brooks. Brooks is solid too with the defensive stats, but Mark Williams leads this team in blocks and steals combined. So he's a guy I would definitely highlight here. I think there's a little meat on that salary right there for him to exceed that by a pretty decent margin. So he's my favorite. And after that, I'm not really into Gillespie or Royce O'Neal, Goodwin, Grayson Allen. They don't do it for me. But those three guys I mentioned, Booker, Brooks, and Williams, are pretty solid.
To your point about the defense, by the way, you're 4th and 5th as far as defensive efficiency. Miami and Phoenix, 2 good defensive teams. The only counterpoint I would have with Williams is the game might almost be too fast for him. He's kind of a big guy, and it might be a little bit too fast for him. But it is also an island game, right, for Phoenix. They tend to rest him sometimes, or kind of monitor his minutes, that kind of thing. It's wild how bad Bam is now. Have you seen how bad Bam is? Like, he's down to 7K on DK, and it's just like it's not happening. I think the new offense is kind of throwing him off a little bit. He's better involved in pick and roll stuff. But and everybody's healthy. And he's down again, 7K. But like, look at his fantasy output this year. It's just not been that great. If you want to do the old cheap, just kind of game log stuff, Chop, right? Like, when was the last time you even paid off 7K and you're happy about it, right? It's just he's not necessarily killing you, but where are the ceiling games from Bam? They're just not happening. But Chop, the chat said you're bored. Are you bored? Am I boring you? Are we boring you?
I'm not gonna lie, NBA is pretty boring in general until we get to the playoffs. But I'll suffer through it. Bam is
this is suffering right now.
Yeah, every NBA slate is a suffer of some sorts. But Bam is. It could be the. I wouldn't think like the tempo should favor him, man. Like, he's an athletic big. It should help his game, but it's not. I don't know if he's fallen in love too much with taking outside shots.
I thought you were going to say Agent Wilson as the chat.
Or if he's just fallen in love and that's ruined his game. I've seen many a men get blindsided by the love bug, man, and it's ruined their game. So
athletes are just like plumbers or anything, just in general.
No, not plumbers. It'd be athletes mainly. Okay. I mean, I've seen, obviously, we've all had friends who
plumbers fall in love too.
Yeah, we've all had friends who gotten smitten over a girl and then they don't function properly in their real life. So maybe that's happening to Bam.
Yeah, there was a lot of plumbers actually in the NBA in the 80s. I don't know if you know that. Jordan dunked on a lot of them.
Come on, man. That's such fake news.
There's a lot of terrible players in the 80s.
A lot of terrible players now.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Dude,
all relative, Dean.
That's you're right. It is, and the player pool is the world now. The world. There were a couple random guys that didn't play for the United States or in the NBA. Now you have these incredible players from Europe and Asia and all over the place. So the pool is bigger, therefore you got to be better. You understand that?
No, I understand. Everybody's better now. It doesn't mean that, but what I'm saying by relative is the athletes today, the best ones, the LeBrons and those guys, they're anomalies physically just from whatever, man. I don't know what happened to the nutrition or women's pregnancies over the decades where they're spitting out these guys now that look like that. It's just different. It's all relative, man. So those superstars right there they're head and shoulders above a lot of these other guys, just the same way that Jordan was head and shoulders above those plumbers, man. But it was just different. It was all relative, man. It's just it is what it is, Dean. I'm not going to get into that one, but I think that's kind of blown out of proportion. I think he was. Plus, if you watch some of the stuff, like a lot of these guys, they used to call travel back in Jordan's days. You used to not be able to travel. I don't know if you've seen some of the old clips that they show about Magic Johnson going coast to coast as a 6'10" guy or a 6'9" point guard with handles going coast to coast, laying it up and getting called for an offensive foul because the guy was camped out in the restricted. So like they used to not be able to get away with these things that they get away with today. So it's just different, Dean. I'm not saying they're better back then but it's just different.
They used to call them the Showtime Lakers. And if you watch the Showtime Lakers on YouTube, it's like they called this team the Showtime Lakers. Really? They're not going that fast. But like you said, it's all relative. It is at the time they were great. And that was really impressive. But now it's like, oh, this team would get smashed. San Antonio takes on OKC. 230.5 is the total. OKC is a 10-point favorite here, despite losing every game to the Spurs this season. Who's in and who's out? Well, we just got Lugens Dort, no Dort for OKC, and Hartenstein is out as well, which is important as far as having a rim protector. The Spurs, they're really, really healthy. The only person of note, Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell is still out without a adductor. Otherwise, they are healthy, good to go. We're expecting Wemby to draw the start here for San Antonio, kind of jumping in and out of the starting lineup. How many minutes we give him tonight? We're giving Wemby 27. Is that enough? I don't know. We're giving for SGA, we're giving him 35, which maybe a minute or so more, just because this game might matter a little bit more. I could see that him getting an extra minute or so taking on the Spurs. They really want this one. Really good from a watchability perspective. I know it's not the playoffs, Chop. They might be the playoffs too. But how do you have the Spurs and the Thunder?
Very interesting game, and I want to play the whole. Well, OKC, man, they want this so bad. They got to get some sort of revenge and all that. But that's what I thought last time they played too, and the Spurs still beat them down. So, maybe the Spurs are just a very difficult and impossible matchup for them. I have no idea. But just in case, we're at OKC and they do want to salvage something from this season series. SGA and Jalen Williams are obviously squarely in play because of that. Maybe they do get a little bit extra here, trying to get a win versus San Antonio here. Two good defensive teams. For OKC, they're good defense, but I don't think it's been the same as last year. I remember last year, they had this bubble on their defensive end, and you almost couldn't get into it. And the only spots that you could get to were those corner threes from them. That's all they would give you. But now I'm looking at them, and it's like some of that's fallen off a bit, and you're not going inside on them, but they're giving up a lot more on the outside, more than just the corner threes now. So you can actually shoot some three-pointers against this team, and they're going to give it to you. So I'm looking at this team, and the Spurs are relatively healthy, and it's really tough. But without Vassell, I think we're the one guy who's benefited the most minutes-wise without Vassell.
Benny.
Exactly, and happens to be, what does he need? Their best three-point shooter. I don't know if he's the best, but he's the most. He makes the most. So that's the guy. 5,800. I don't think it's a great play. I think it's a big, large field GPP, but they give up threes. He's their best three-point shooter. He's been playing mid-30s without Vassell. I think he's the one guy I'd look for in GPPs. Obviously Wemby can get there too. He's a freak of nature, but he's expensive. It's going to cost you. But I think, I don't know. It's a tough game. Two good defenses, but I think there's something here. SGA and Jalen Williams at home trying to salvage a win here from the Spurs is super interesting too.
I like SGA in tournaments. I like him in single entry as well if he's not going to get played. What do we have him currently as far as ownership wise? I think he's got a new batch. Hit the refresh as of 552.
New batch.
Fresh batch ownership.
I specifically Dean mentioned SGA and Jalen Williams, and I specifically didn't mention Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Chet's doing much in it. They do not like Chet, man.
Went on length. They need Chet and Wemby.
Well, the Spurs just do not like him. I know you've heard some of the comments post game.
The Spurs don't like Chet?
You haven't caught on that?
I didn't get into this, no.
They just, as a person, they don't like Chet. You dig into it and what they do to Chet. Wemby specifically doesn't like Chet. I don't know what it is about him. Well, I have an idea, but
I don't know.
But he does not like Chet, and he does not let Chet get loose in these games specifically. So that's definitely a big fade for me.
It's interesting. Chet is currently the highest projected player in this game, but not a lot of players projected very high. 14% for Chet, 13 Champagny, SGA 11%. If that holds anywhere near that, and typically that kind of number is going to be lower in single entry stuff. I love it in single entry. I haven't made my lineup just yet. Obviously, I'm going to figure it out when we get off the show and we yield to crunch time. Jalen Williams 11%, Castle at about 9%, Wemby at 7%. Wemby also at 7%. It's really, really appealing. Let's see. They're asking me to share a screen. TJ's hosted the show. TJ would share a screen. Is there something that needs to be shared, TJ? I don't know what's going on in the chat. I'm just kind of jumping in over there.
Pretty good chance TJ's taking a nap behind the screen.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I've seen it happen before.
Is he bored too? Is that what you're saying? Is he also slogging through talking about basketball? We should give people a second clue. Nobody banked it. Second clue for today's Television Tuesday. It is not Third Rock from the Sun or RuPaul's Drag Race or Game of Thrones or The Crown or The Umbrella Academy. King of Queens, Living Single. That's a good answer. It's not The Equalizer either. I see what everybody's doing with that. Yeah, people are smart. It's not The Sopranos either, or John from Cincinnati. Remember that show on HBO? 1 year. No. It was a big bust. The second clue is Castle. Queen and Castle.
Oh, like Stephen. Good timing. Stephen Castle. Speaking of Sopranos, what was the lady's name?
Carmelo?
Yeah. What was the actress? Edie Falco or
Edie
something.
Falco, yeah.
She's in this season of Mayor of Kingstown. I watched that show with Jeremy Renner. She's a prison boss.
Should I be watching that? I've not.
The first season was good. It was interesting, but obviously, once you get past the first season and you start to extend the story past the point that you really wanted to, not great. But she's in there. It's interesting.
Okay, yeah, she kind of disappeared. Well, she did that Nurse Jackie, which was I don't know if you can watch that on Showtime, but solid actress. Okay. Anything else you want to say about as far as the Spurs and the Thunder? Who wins by that chop? Did the Thunder lose again? They're 10-point favorites here.
I keep doubting the Spurs in this matchup. I guess I doubt them again, man. If OKC can't beat them this time, then they're seriously going to have to look at the seeding when it comes out for the playoffs and hope that they don't have an early matchup with them.
Second game, no, not second game. The second game in the next window, I suppose. We can fire that up here, Chop. It is the Bulls and the Rockets. 225.5 is the total. Your Rockets, they're big boy favorites tonight. They're 13-point favorites for Chicago. Chicago is wounded. They're on the front end of a back-to-back. Let's tell you who's in and who's out for this contest. Well, the Rockets, they're pretty healthy, mostly healthy. As healthy as they're going to be, with the exception of Tyrese. And Tyrese is still out that ankle. FVV, who knows if or when we see him this season. As far as the Bulls, we kind of touched on it on the top. Kobe White is out. He's dealing with a calf. That's important, as is Josh Giddey, which is important. He's got that hamstring. Zach Collins still out with his toe. And Julian Phillips, which doesn't seem to really matter, but a little bit, because they will be down to 10 if they lose Phillips. He's questionable with his wrist. How are we feeling about Houston and Chicago? This is like what? The best rebounding team versus one of the worst rebounding teams? Just pulling up rebounding percentage. Chicago's middle of the road as far as percentage. All right, but yeah, the best rebounding team is the Rockets. How do you see Houston and the Bulls?
Not particularly interested in the Chicago side of it, although, you never know about a guy like Vooch could get hot from the three-point line, which he shoots a lot of three-pointers this year. But, I'm not particularly interested in that side of it. It's the Houston side I'd be more interested in. Without Tari Eason, Kevin Durant's going to get an uptick, which he doesn't even need, but he's going to get it. And they need to right the ship here, so I wouldn't doubt if him or Şengün come out and have a big game. But Şengün's the guy I really like here a lot. It's a good matchup for him. The Bulls, when you pull up the Bulls' pace, they're a faster type of team this year. They give up a lot of blocks and steals, and Şengün leads his team in blocks and steals. And so I think there's a piece of defensive efficiency here that could help him with his fantasy line. He can get in the paint and do work against them. The only worry I have is he fully he really rushed back from a bad ankle injury last game because they were on a 2-game slide. So did he rush back and he's not really fully healthy? If he's healthy and they've had a day off now, 2 days off, if he's healthy, he should be able to eat on the inside, gather up a bunch of rebounds, and even get you some defensive stats and maybe put up a big GPP game. If he's not healthy, then throw all that out the window. Amin Thompson would be my next favorite play, regardless, for the same reason. A little bit of pace, Şengün's back, a little bit less point guard role for him, a little bit more out there on the wings, hanging around, blocks, steals, dunks on the baseline. So Amin Thompson would be second on my list to Şengün, with Durant being a third. And if you want to off-the-board GPP play, maybe they play Reed Shepherd a little bit more tonight. Maybe they play Reed Shepherd. I can't believe they're not making a deal yet for a point guard.
What deal do you want?
Well, January the 8th or 9th or something was the date for them that freed something about that freed up some sort of money to where they can make some sort of exemption and sign somebody. They need somebody who can just handle the ball, Dean. I'm not talking about a superstar or
Get John Morant.
No, I'm not talking about a superstar or a player that's going to cost anything or that has a big contract right now. They just need somebody who can handle the ball and willing to play defense. They don't have a ball handler. It's pretty annoying that they're going to ruin this season by not making a move here sometime soon and get these guys back into the roles that make them better, as opposed to trying to force these guys to be point guards when they're not that guy.
Isn't there a chance, though, that FEV comes back at some point? They haven't officially given up on that?
Yeah, but if he did, it'd be closer to the playoffs. And do you really trust a 30-something-year-old guy coming off a major? Like every player, even the young ones, it takes that next season that you come off of the injury. It's that whole season is kind of like a wash. You're just getting your leg back.
Yeah.
You can expect Fred VanVleet to come back and be good right away. So I think they know that. I think they're just waiting for something to drop here.
But like, just be a distributor. You're right. Like, he's probably not going to be the same guy. But if he's 90% or 85%, and you're not really relying on him to score, just kind of handle the ball and distribute it and make smart decisions. He's 31, by the way. He's not that old.
Okay, but still, I
yeah.
mean, even for guys who are 24, coming off a knee in that first year back, you just never know. So, would he be willing to play? I mean, would he be able to play defense pushing off that knee? I know on offense you can get away with it, but on defense, can you make those? I don't know, but they need to do something.
TJ McConnell. That's somebody that can just. I don't know how many minutes he can play, but he'd be a useful player.
Any of that stuff would be nice. But I mean, they have like an exemption right now where they could sign somebody. Is what I was saying. Somebody out there on the street, just come in and help these guys out. Play a little point guard, man.
Did you see Rachel Nichols reporting that John Morant wants to go to Miami?
Because he'd fit in.
We've got to put the Heat culture to the test.
Like, he'd love it on South Beach, man.
I'm a believer, by the Heat culture thing is more real than people think it is. I know it's like a punchline and it's a joke, but no team is in better shape. No team, as far as the part of the culture is just like outworking everybody. You notice if you look at a lot of players when they retire and they play for Miami and 4 other teams. When were they their best? Miami. Many times it's Miami. Miami gets the most out of players. Just run down like Max Strus and Duncan Robinson and just Udonis Haslem, like what they did with Haslem and giving him, of course he busted his ass, but there was a chance he was never going to be in the league. He was he like 300 pounds or so in college. Heat culture goes that far back, and I do think it's legit. And I don't know if I want John Morant as a Miami fan. I guess there's a big upside. I just wish he can like shoot the ball. I think that's important. Wish he had a good jumper. He can drive to the hoop, but he's another guy that's kind of regressed. Did you believe in Heat culture, Chop? Is Heat culture real, or do you think it's nonsense?
Yes. Culture is real. It's not just the Heat. There's a lot of teams out there in sports. Sure. There is a culture thing. You can have a bad culture just like a good culture. If you can have a bad culture, you can have a good culture. Like if we're going to look at some teams and go, oh man, what a fire pit that team is. What a bad culture they have out there. Then you can definitely go the opposite way. A good culture. The Heat definitely have a good culture under their current coaching staff. So absolutely believe that.
Yeah, they don't have the monopoly on culture. There are plenty of teams that have a good environment. Just like the Kings. Like, is there like a reverse of Heat culture? I'd say Sacramento is probably the team that has the worst culture.
It might be Memphis too. Memphis might be the reverse.
That's a good answer too. It might be Memphis as well. Yeah. Okay. By the way, third clue for Television Tuesday. You're not going to believe this, Chop. You got a winner in 2. You got a winner in 2.
You did get a winner, son of a bitch.
Yeah, shout out to LBC in the chat. One that's before. Taking it down in 2. We'll still see it. IBC. Oh, yeah, that's right. The root beer. Shout out to the root beer. Los Angeles was the third clue. It's Queen Castle, Los Angeles. Took it down in 2. IBC, getting week free of RG Premium. And TJ even called the shot. TJ, like in our private chat, says, yeah, IBC is going to get this in the next clue because you can just see where the mind is working. Just on Queen. And Queen was like a clue to throw everybody off. And still, people were on top of it. All right. The chat is too sharp. That's what I'm starting to realize here, Chop. We got to get this thing off rookie mode. We got to make it a little more difficult going forward. Anything else as far as Chicago and Houston?
Nah. Houston's in a real funk from the three-point line. Mm-hmm. Big time. They regressed here the last week or so. So I'm going to wait till they snap out of that before I get back on the Jabari Smith or some of those guys, that train.
The Bulls, they gave up like the 8th or 9th most made threes for what it's worth. Just trying to see that as their vulnerability. You like to get them inside. You like to get them outside. Do we assume Aaron Holiday starts, by the way, for Houston? That's what we're projecting right now. Holiday, Thompson, Durant, Jabari Smith,
so.
Sengun.
I think so.
I think there's a chance Jalen Smith starts with the Bulls, by the way. I was just going to throw that out there as well. Trey Jones, Herter, Okoro, Buzelis, Vuk, and again, Julian Phillips is questionable. They could be down to 11 with how thin they are. I think Houston might just pummel the Bulls in this game. I'm a little hesitant on playing players here, but it's one of those. I think I'm not going to play one. I want to play like either, especially for the Chicago. If I'm playing someone in Chicago, I'll probably force a run back on Houston. Okay, this is the game, right, Chop? I think it's the game. Minnesota, Milwaukee, 229.5. That's the total. We're looking at the Bucks being a 3.5 point favorite because Ant Edwards is out for Minnesota. He's dealing with a foot. Thank you for Minnesota because they kept giving him like maintenance, questionable, playing him. They told us well in advance that he was not going to play in this game. So shout out to Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, he's got that league suspension for Milwaukee. Antetokounmpo, that's Alex. Alex Antetokounmpo is in the G League. Miles Turner is questionable with his illness. He tends to mostly play, but who knows? It's an illness, so who can say if he's going to be good to go here or not? But Minnesota, they project really well. FanDuel was a little bit more ambitious as far as pumping players up. We saw Naz Reid. He's like 7'5" over there. He's 6'1" on DK. I think there's still meat on the bone. Speaking of meat on the bone, Bones Highland, 3-1 on DK, projects to be one of the better fantasy point per dollar plays on the slate. And then no Gobert, Chop, and who's the rim protector for Minnesota? The combination of Reed and Randall, like Giannis is going to destroy those guys on the inside. Yeah, I mean, how do we just not play Giannis and 3 players for Minnesota? That's like the most clear and obvious thing to start with, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty decent. Giannis is definitely the one guy on Milwaukee that I feel comfortable with. I'm not super in love with the rest of those guys, but definitely Giannis is the spin up and the best spin up for me today. Randall, fantastic. Love some Randall. Probably play Randall and Reed together here tonight. I haven't made the lineups yet, but I don't see why not. Randall it's going to get that big boost here. Even though Milwaukee's not a slouch on defense or any of the stuff, like they're not bad at anything. So, it's not an easy matchup, but Randall's going to get that boost. The one I like Naz Reid the most, though. If I had to rank him, Reid would be number 1 on Minnesota for me. He's just because he's a matchup nightmare. And not like I just said, Milwaukee's a little bit tough all over. And so maybe that guy standing out on the perimeter as your center, banging 3-pointers, and when he gets hot, man, he gets hot. He's really good at it. Maybe that's the matchup nightmare that's going to just thrive in this thing. So definitely like Naz Reid the most, especially on DraftKings with that price tag. After Randall and Reed, I could see myself dropping a little DiVincenzo in here. Sure, why not? He's a solid play, good price tag on DraftKings.
Revenge.
What's that?
Revenge.
Is it?
He played for Milwaukee.
Oh, he might have, right?
Yeah, he's not as angry at Milwaukee as he is at New York, I would imagine. But yeah, he played for Milwaukee.
It's not even New York. It's more Coach Tibbs and Jalen Brunson's dad. That's who he's mad at. So, but yeah, DiVincenzo's fine. Then there's a drop off for me. I go Jaden Daniels and Bones Highland. Bones super cheap. And then the only player I was going to highlight here is Mike Conley. Or I was going to eliminate him from my pool, but I didn't want to forget about him on the show because I just wanted to point out that at that ownership, I'll have a 0 Mike Conley. I don't care who's injured. So at that ownership, I will not be playing Mike Conley, but to each his own.
Yeah, that's a good conversation because he does seem he's hitting my ownership stuff. I ran a bunch of optimal lineups with some variants and all that, and Bones Highland is the guy that's most popular as far as hitting lineups, but and we'll talk about Denver here in a second. Denver's pretty popular too and could become more popular if we lose Jamal Murray, which seems to be very much in play. He's currently questionable. Miles Turner, by the way, just ruled out. We did have an if-then setup for that. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I'm seeing on DK 5 or 4 T-Wolves in the first 10 lineups. There's one with 3. But for the most part, it's 5 or 4. I cannot see us. I just don't want to get to 5. 4 I can see. I don't think I'm playing 5. I think it's a minimum 3, I want to say, for Minnesota. And on FanDuel, I'm getting 3 or 4 on every lineup, basically, that I'm running for Minnesota. Do you have any sort of rules? I assume you're making one lineup tonight, or maybe you're not. How many T-Wolves is too much? What's the most that you will allow? What's the minimum as far as Minnesota?
Yeah, the most is probably 3. I mean, they're down some players, but 3 is enough. I don't know that they've got enough. The firepower I want is Nas, DiVincenzo, and Randall. So I don't know. Those other guys don't bring a lot of firepower. But so probably max 3. Minimum you don't have to set. It's going to plug in a bunch anyway, and therefore if you're using the lineup HQ like that. But Miles Turner being out, that makes things a little bit better on the run back there if you want to go that route. I could definitely see getting to Bobby Portis more now, in addition to Giannis. So I think that matters.
We're giving Portis 25 minutes to see where in the if-then this might change. Jericho Sims getting 16 minutes as well, who could potentially start. Sims, they will start Sims sometimes. Portis 25. Yeah, it's interesting. Nobody else really getting – it's just Giannis. He gets a little bit more of a boost without Turner. Better play on DK than FanDuel according to our value set, but certainly you can play Giannis and FanDuel as well in tournaments. Even if Sims starts, what is he 3K? I'm still not playing Jericho. We're not playing Jericho Sims, right? If he starts,
no,
I don't think so.
Come on.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
Jericho.
Well, he's 3K.
Well, so is so
is Mike Connolly, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys, Dean. There's so is Gary Harris.
Well,
so is Taurean Prince.
Well, okay, but Jericho Sims is going to outscore those guys.
So is Alex Antetokounmpo. Like, there's a lot of 3K guys.
I just told you Alex Antetokounmpo's in the G League. You're not playing him.
I'm playing exactly. I'm not playing any of those guys. So Martin, do we like McDaniels is fine. He's just fourth on the Minnesota list for me.
I like him fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your priority list, you kind of gave it out. Nas, I think, is going to be pretty awesome here. Just has to avoid. Hopefully he doesn't get, trapped in foul trouble with, crossing pass with Giannis. Somebody's talking about DiVincenzo starting. Yeah, we're projecting him to start. We're projecting Bones. Remember, there's 2 starters that we replaced, Ant and Gobert. Bones, DiVincenzo, McDaniels, Randall, and Reed. We're expecting KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., Rollins, Green, Giannis, and let me hit refresh. I'm curious who we're projecting to start. We're projecting Jericho Sims, but we're also only projecting, I think we just got the projections update. So shout out to the projection team. Hit refresh here on lineup HQ. So this is under the assumption that Sims starts. We're giving him 20 minutes. And still, minutes equal money, but Jericho Sims, his minutes are created poorly. Bobby Portis 25 minutes. I think he's very much in play. Kuzma's another guy at 4-3 chop. Just, nobody wants to play Kuzma. I get it. I'm not here touting Kuzma. But at 4-3, how bad could it be, right? It could be bad. But in theory, he can put up a 30 burger. Pretty fair asking price. You like Kevin Porter Jr. or Rollins, or it's basically Giannis or bust, or Portis?
Giannis or Portis for me, or bust. I just don't know. Those guys are fine, but it's a lot of value tonight, and they're just not really like jumping out. There's nothing about like none of these guys being out really helps them as much as it does like Bobby Portis or Giannis, and obviously the Minnesota guys being out helps those guys we talked about. Well, Porter and Rollins are pretty much still in the same role they typically are. And that doesn't really – nothing about that I have to play tonight. So not really, man.
So to circle back on Connolly, we're giving him 24 minutes. We're giving Bones 25. Fantasy points are in it for Connolly these days is pretty rough. We're giving him 18 as a median projection. He's 3K on DK. But just – like, what does he do, like, if you don't have him that burns you? He's not going to put up 30, right? Like, maybe if he puts up 24, okay. But, like, I'm kind of with you, too. I don't think I want to play Connolly. He's 3-7 on FanDuel, by the way. He's probably not the worst, but if he's going to be popular, which we're projecting, what do you got, TJ?
I was just going to say, what if he starts?
We think he's going to start. Oh no, actually we have Bones. I think he's going to start. I think he's going to start actually.
Yeah.
And it might be just kind of a hot hand situation. Like TJ, you're making 150 lineups, I assume, so he's probably in your mix. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was kind of, especially if Bones is the one who starts, I was kind of considering doing something like 90% Bones Highland, 10% Conley, and just play one of them in every lineup.
90% Bones if he's not starting it's a lot of Bones, but
that is if he is starting.
Okay, I got you.
If it's Conley, I would probably be like a 75-25 or an 80-20.
Steven
Still in
says
favor of Bones, but more Conley.
Steven says the real question is Conley or Sims. Like, I think you're playing Conley if you have to pick one of those two. I don't think you necessarily have to pick one of those two, but Chop, we're picking one of those two. Different positions, obviously. I think you take Conley if you're forced to pick a 3K Stone Min guy. But, would you pick Sims over Conley?
I would pick neither.
Well, somebody's.
You don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did add the
Conley or Sims or Conley. So, like, Bones Highland's not enough for you on this slate. Like, there's a lot of value out there. I mean, value doesn't necessarily have to mean guys under 3,500. A guy like Nas Reed, 6,100, super valuable, Mark Williams, 55, any of that kind of stuff, anything like that. Bobby Portis now, 53. Like, those guys are value in some way, shape, or form. And you might even get Jamal Murray ruled out, which would open up a whole extra can of worms. Like, why would you want to be stuck with Conley or Sims? Bones Highland, 31, plug and play if you want that, that's fine. But I don't know that I'd go any of those other two guys.
If Murray gets ruled out, then Pickett would be a pretty awesome play. And then I think, again, there's a decent chance. And that's also why I'm apprehensive to play anybody in the early game. I might just slot one player in, if we're not getting Denver news until on the dot, 7:30, I might avoid playing, but I could just put Booker in. If I want to put Booker in, just have an a la carte piece and just got to build the lineup around that. But I'm a little apprehensive. Both those teams are fully healthy with the exception of Jalen Green. Otherwise, I think Miami's fully healthy. We like the tempo that Miami has, but also it's two good defensive teams. And everybody's just kind of priced where they basically should be or worse. We'll wait and see if Crunch Time gets that news. There's still an hour and change, but who knows how long. By the way, TJ, I don't know if you saw this news, TJ. Get excited. I don't know if it means anything. But according to Jesse Rogers, the Blue Jays have made a long-term offer for Kyle Tucker. So who knows? We'll see.
We've known that for a few days.
Oh, well, all right. Well, why didn't you break it?
Blue Jays have offered reportedly the longest one out of the Mets, Dodgers, and Blue Jays.
The Mets offered the most annual money, but the shorter contract. And the Dodgers, you hear what the Dodgers pitch was, right?
No.
It's the Dodgers. Just come to LA. It's the Dodgers. Come on to LA, man. Our name speaks for itself. So, man, they're trying to pull some shenanigans.
Well, I thought you were going to say they pulled the Ohtani deal where they're they deferred the money and we'll give you all this money.
Probably did that too, but their sales pitch to him was
that's what the Blue Jays are doing. That's what the Blue Jays are trying to offer.
Okay. They're paying him in loonies and toonies in the year 2040.
No, like all professional sports, Toronto sports teams get paid in American dollars.
DJ gets so upset. I kid the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are clean. The Blue Jays are cleaning house, and they're really going for it this year, man.
They added a couple pitchers, I think. You're more on the hot stove than I am.
They had a taste of that Game 7 World Series, man, and they didn't back off. They went for it full bore this year. They went out and made a lot of acquisitions. Very solid for them.
Good for them. Kirkwood says the Red Sox are going for it. Yeah, that AL East is just so tough. It's brutal.
The Red Sox are the only team in this free agent market that have spent zero money on free agency. The Red Sox.
Wait, the Marlins signed somebody? The Marlins didn't sign anybody.
Yes. Every team has spent something on free agents except the rest. Not that it's a bad thing. Go for, whatever. Float your boat as a franchise. Maybe they got a plan, but that's just facts.
Who did the Marlins extend? Billy the Marlin? I didn't see their major. I know they made some trades. They traded for the Chicago Cubs top prospect, who's going to probably play from day one, most likely, giving up Cabrera.
That was a good one.
I mean, it's a good one for Chicago. Cabrera's good.
Cabrera's good, but I mean, what are you doing with the Marlins? You just,
You
you're not gonna make. You might as well try to hit a home run with a guy who's going to be good a couple years from now.
Marlins might as well sign Bryce Young to a long-term contract. Minnesota and the Bucks. Anything else that needs to be said as far as this game?
Move it on.
We will play it out. Television Tuesday. We did have a winner, but we made the clues, so let's play it out. Sure, why not? We have crunch time coming in about 20 minutes or so. The fourth clue was uniform, Queen, Castle, Los Angeles, and uniform. Again, we already have a winner on this. I believe it's been paid out already by TJ. Maybe it hasn't. Not sure because Steve might be on vacation. I think he's still got to go through Steve to hook that up.
To Andy. It's already done. It's already awarded.
There you go. Nicely done. Shout out to IBC for taking this down in 2. Last game, again, we kind of teased it with Denver and New Orleans. We don't know about Jamal Murray. He's officially questionable. Denver at the Pels, 233.5. That's the total. Pretty high. It's tight. Denver currently a 1.5-point favorite. In New Orleans, who's in and who's out? Well, the important one is, again, Jamal Murray is dealing with he's got an ankle. So he's questionable. No Valanciunas. He's out. The Joker's still out. No Cam Johnson. Aaron Gordon, probable with his hamstring. Christian Brown out with his ankle. I think he came back too soon because he full-on stunk when he came back. New Orleans, your guy, Grand Theft Alvarado, Jose, is out for several weeks with his oblique. Sadiq Bey is going to go with his hip. Herb Jones is out with his ankle. That is New Orleans. Yeah, it's kind of a holding pattern here for Jamal Murray because he projects well if he plays because the matchup is good and the usage will be outrageous. We are anticipating Murray, Hunter Tyson, Spencer Jones, Peyton Watson, and Aaron Gordon at the 5 here. Fears, Murphy, Bay, Zion, Queen on the other side. Do we have a plan for both options here, Chop, as far as Murray? Do we like Murray if he's in? Do we have contingency plans lined up? Does this somehow affect if we don't get the news until 7:31? What are we doing with Miami and Phoenix? How are we attacking this game, Denver and the Pelicans?
Well, I'll start off with the New Orleans side. It's pretty simple stuff. I think Trey Murphy's the most consistent guy they got and a perfectly fine play in this matchup, so Trey Murphy's fine. And when you start talking about Zion and Derek Queen and Jeremy Fears, I think each and every one of them holds plenty of GPP upside in any game, especially Queen and Fears. They're just not consistent, but that's fine in GPPs. You can still take a shot on one of those guys. And Murphy, like I said, very steady, consistent. Compare him with any of those guys, and that's fine. So they're GPP guys. Denver, obviously very, very good. Jamal Murray, if he's in, I mean, what do you like? I don't want to say lock him, but if he's in, he's close to a lock. He's as close to a lock as Randall is. So if he's in. And I don't know if he's going to be. If not, then that's going to give you Jalen Pickett as basically a lock. So you're in pretty good shape right there if you're going to play the waiting game on that. And Aaron Gordon, very good. I think probably a little bit better on FanDuel with the price, but not much. He's got a good price tag regardless. He's an exceptional play. Peyton Watson is a little bit expensive, but obviously he's been very good in this circumstance with these guys injured. It's a tad bit expensive on DraftKings. If you want to play that route, you can go for it. Bruce Brown's fine. I'm just never been a big Hardaway Jr. guy. Very rarely has that ceiling for me. So I'm not on that. But, yeah, Jamal Murray, if they say Jamal Murray's going to play, Jamal Murray is a lock. They say he's out. Pickett's a lock. So I think you're, pretty good shape waiting on this game.
Yeah, I don't like the term. I don't like using the word lock here, Chop.
Yeah,
he's 9'8". That's like a lock is somebody that's like 5K.
When I say lock, I don't like.
It's a great play.
Like Steph Curry at 3K as a mispricing one time. Something that's a lock.
Yeah.
He's not a lock, but even at 9'8", those numbers, man, the numbers without Jokic in there, they're exquisite. And New Orleans is like an exceptional matchup. So. Not a lock, but you know what I'm saying. You could,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
If the optimizer is going to just I'm not going to put any cap on him in the optimizer if I'm doing it like that, and I'll let it play out like that. He's going to be an exceptional play.
But he puts up 50 points, and I'm fine if I don't have him. It's okay.
How you feel about 60?
then I may be in trouble.
It's like if he's in there and he's healthy and he's not sick or anything, 60 is a pretty reasonable price for him. Pretty reasonable.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't know. I might not play Murray. I might just play SGA over him, which is something I'm considering. And he might not even play. So all this stuff is fluid. And we did mention, like, we have an if-then set up. If we happen to lose Murray, we have Pickett projected for 33 minutes, 36 DK, 34 FanDuel, and he's just not priced for that potential outcome. So I think Pickett would, I don't want to say lock, but kind of a lock. If we lose, he's more of a lock because of the price, and he's going to play 30 plus minutes or so. Pickett would be in every lineup I make. Peyton Watson, are we buying this Peyton Watson like at 7.5? There is sticker shock, but he's been pretty awesome, and he's obviously being asked to do more in the absence of everybody. So I think he's still pretty interesting. And if we lose Murray, he would have a 39 DK projection, 38 FanDuel as far as a median at 34 minutes. I think he's a really strong play. You can make players just from, in theory, if we lose Murray, you can make players just from Minnesota and Denver. If you just want to use those two teams. Not saying you should necessarily do that, but you can and have a respectable team. How do we feel about Watson, Chop? I apologize if you touched on him, but your take as far as Peyton Watson?
I mean, like before Jokic got hurt, I was on the show and I was like, this guy's pretty good, man. Like he's got a little something in him for fantasy. And then when the injuries happened, he really took off. So there's definitely something to his game. It's not flukish. He's a pretty solid fantasy performer. But the 7,500 is a bit pricey, but it's New Orleans, man, and they stink. They don't do a lot on defense. I have to pull up the numbers. I don't have that spreadsheet open right now, but they're not good. I could tell you that much. And so, 75 going to drive people off of him a little bit, but he can definitely exceed that price tag by a pretty wide margin. So I think he's firmly in play.
Pelicans top 10 in pace. They're the fourth worst team in the league in defensive efficiency. To your point, as far as it being a good matchup. In Kirkwood in chat says he wants the siege definition to unlock. I think his definition was just like over the field, if I remember correctly. I feel like those goalposts were moved. Like I could be wrong. Is that not what it was? I don't know what his definition was, but I don't think it was actually literally hitting the lock button. Otherwise, I guess Kirkwood probably would not be bringing that up.
I need the siege. I need the siege darts lock.
There's like a 17-year-old phenom in darts. I don't know the guy's name, but like he's incredible. I don't know. Do you ever my sports book? They want me to bet darts, and they always want me to bet ping pong. They really want me to bet ping pong.
Oh man!
They keep giving me ping pong bonuses, and I'm like, I don't know. Well, yeah. If the the bonus is good enough, I'll just bet it blind, just on anything. You give me a bonus on whatever, and you give me like a 30% bonus. Okay, I guess. But you ever bet? Are you in those dart streets? You're probably
no, Dean, not in the dart streets. But I don't know, man. I'm a little bit leery of some of those things that can be easily manipulated. Like this doesn't, you know what I mean?
You can tank in darts. Like if you want to tank in darts, it seems like a very easy sport.
100%. Like I got my I'm watching Matt Stafford back up and take an extra yard on the kneel down. To get his rushing I'm like, then people started complaining about that, and I'm like,
I didn't see that. That's pretty funny.
You didn't? Yeah, he backed up an extra step to take an extra yard away, and it messed up his 1.5 rushing yard prop. And everybody, I'm thinking that couldn't be. No, he didn't do that. I'm not buying that.
No,
I'm certainly not getting in the dart street though, man. There's too much corruption out there.
But they are so precise. Like if you want to hit the 3, you can hit the 3.
The dart scene from Ted Lasso, one of the best scenes ever, right?
Spectacular. He was strong with his offhand, right? Wasn't he?
One of the best ever.
It's coming back. I feel like it had such a good ending. It's not that I don't want to watch it. I love Ted Lasso. I thought it was one of the best shows we've had in the last 10 years or so. But it ended so good. It stuck the landing. I'm afraid it's not going to be as good as it was.
Is it going to come back, or is it the spinoff? I thought it was a spinoff.
Oh no, he's going to be on it.
They're calling it Ted Lasso season 4. It was originally thinking of being a spinoff,
but Sudeikis isn't going to be in there though.
No. Yeah, he is. He's back coaching the
my
women's team.
gosh.
He's going to coach. They teased the new women's team. I don't remember in the finale. They they're looking at a women's roster or something like that, and that's probably what I think they officially said that. That's not a spoiler. I think he's going to be coaching a women's team.
Yeah, they just can't help themselves. Just got to go for the money grab. You had a great ending. Just let it be, man.
You're going to watch it?
Yeah, because it's Ted Lasso. It's really well written and stuff, but you were there. Do a spinoff, fine. Do me a spinoff.
Who do you want to spin off on Ted Lasso?
Who was character? That's a good one. Maybe who's the real curmudgeon?
Roy Kent.
He was pretty. You could do a spinoff on Roy Kent. And
what's he doing? What's the story?
He's got his relationship with that guy. I don't know. There's a lot of things, but there's different. What about the Sam? You could do Sam going to play back home.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know, something, but just to get the Ted Lasso money, but you don't ruin the actual Ted Lasso ending.
And is Sam not going to be in the new season, or the Football is Life guy because it's a different team? I don't know.
He was good too. You got to have him in somewhere.
We'll see. I don't know. Well, I'm curious how they set that up. Fifth clue, by the way, for speaking of television, for Television Tuesday, Chop. You didn't guess because I guess you don't like when somebody gets it. You just kind of tap out, which is fine. Queen Castle, Los Angeles uniform. Cooper Flag was clue number 5. Chop.
What?
Cooper Flag. Really?
That's crazy.
That's the fifth clue.
Yeah. Once somebody guesses, it's like I've never been even back in the day. I've never been a fan of sloppy seconds, Dean. So I'm not about to take nobody's sloppy seconds on the guessing game here.
But you can still sort of play it out just for funsies, I suppose. But that's fair. You don't have to participate. We have 7 or 8 minutes or so until crunch time jumps in here. TJ's going to jump in. We saw Kirkwood hanging out there in the bullpen. Roth is going to jump on as well. Speaking of Kirkwood, we're talking a little baseball. Rumor just dropped. Apparently, his Red Sox, who've yet to sign anybody off season, that is, are interested in getting some Bo Bichette, maybe. Bo Bichette possibly on the move. He seems likely to not stick around in Toronto, but I guess TJ probably is more on top of that than I am. But what I understand, seems like he's likely on the move.
He's waiting on Tucker. He'll likely be back. I think they pay him the money he wants if they don't get Tucker. And if they do, then he'll probably take his next best offer. But I doubt the Red Sox are going to pay him as much as he wants.
Yeah, big domino to fall. That's a good point. Tucker probably is the first one to go. And then like you said, everybody else is kind of waiting to see how that sets the market. All right. We do have time for questions as well, by the way, about 7 or 8 minutes or so until crunch time starts knocking on the door. I do want to tell the people about PickLabs. PickLabs, the newest Fantasy Labs feature that lets you scan the best player prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you. It's dummy proof from edges and win rates to value. Clean board. It shows it shows plays actually that stand out across sports books, not just sports books, but also places like Underdog, Prize Picks as well. When you see something you like, PickLabs will go ahead and build the slip for you. Send it straight to your book. For a limited time, we have free access, that is, with a Fantasy Labs DFS sub. If you got a Fantasy Labs DFS sub, fantasylabs.com/pricing. Use the promo code FLEX20. That gets you $20 off your first payment. Again, that is PickLabs. Chop, where's Mike Tomlin going? Is he going to go into our team, or is he going to kick out Terry Bradshaw? A year off.
He's going to take a year off at least.
Just taking a year off. He's just going to chill.
Yeah. A lot of good coaches out there, man. A lot of good coaches for these teams. So it's going to be interesting.
A lot of spots.
The PickLabs, Dean. PickLabs is good, man. It works. You just gotta use it the right way. I was almost nailed a bunch of good stuff last night. The only problem I had was went to scores and odds, and Dan Bach gave me the Woody Marks over receiving yards instead of rushing yards. Freaking Dan Bach ruined all my good parlays, man, on Prize Picks.
Calling him out on it.
But PickLabs was awesome though, man. It had all the good values that I didn't even know, like Aaron Rodgers under passing attempts, like weird stuff that I wouldn't even, but it does it, man. It finds that stuff. That's what it's good for.
Is Rodgers retiring?
I would hope so, because he had a great career, but it's just over, man. Just like last night showed me the exact same thing that Tom Brady had his last year. At a certain point, you get old and you get scared to get hit. Now you can't play quarterback. Nobody wants to get hit, but you can't be so scared to get hit as a quarterback that it messes up your play. And that's what Brady did his last year. That's what Rodgers looked like last night. Let's just ride off in the sunset, man. You had a great career.
He was yelling at somebody on the sidelines. I can't remember who it was.
He's always yelling at. He's yelling at when there's a play that doesn't go the right way, even if it's his fault. He's going to yell at somebody to make sure people know that it's their fault. So he's crazy like that.
Chop, who's the player you're most afraid of not having enough of? I know you were on the survey today. It's one of the survey questions. Maybe that answer has changed as the day has progressed. But what player are you most afraid of not having that's going to beat you?
Well, the one I'll be under the field, and it scares me even though I'll have him, but is Bones Highland. I'll be under on Bones because he's so highly owned. He's going to be so highly owned. It's a little bit scary. I'll definitely be way underweight on Mike Conley, but that does not scare me.
What's the number that like you're afraid if he gets 27? What's the number he gets where you're like, oh man, I should have rostered Mike Conley?
About 34, 35, and I'm like, oh man, crap. Oh, everybody, the chalk donkeys got there.
30, I'm in trouble. I think 30 is a big number.
Not tonight. I think we're going to get a lot of big points tonight from a lot of guys who are in the cheap mid-range. So I'm not as much worried about 30 points tonight.
So Derek wants to know, Chop, how many shares of Portis in 3-max? So in the 3-max contest, you're entering it 3 times. I would say no more than 1. That's kind of my favorite.
1 is fine.
Trying to see if any news is coming out, but unfortunately, we're kind of at the mercy. We'll probably get stuff at 7 o'clock, I assume. Maybe. We'll see. And 7:30, we might get the Jamal Murray thing. Maybe we get nothing at 7 o'clock. But we'll get starting lineups if nothing else for Miami and Phoenix, but probably no surprises, I don't think. Not expecting. Anything else going on here in chat? Kirkwood's talking about Murray and the value out there. Yeah, that is something that we're kind of waiting for. How are you handling the first game with not knowing about Murray in Phoenix and Miami? Are you a little apprehensive to get too pot committed to Miami and Phoenix?
Not really, because I don't think anybody's jumping off in that game anyway. Like the guys I mentioned, like my favorite play is GPP guy is Mark Williams, and I'm not going to have a lot of Mark Williams, and the other guys don't. So I just naturally not going to have a lot of that game anyway, so it doesn't really bother me.
Our guy J3 in chat, I'm going to ask you who you feeling on the plums. The plums are hot. He's saying Aaron Holiday breaks the slate. He's another.
Oh,
he's got a little like Connolly in him. I don't know if Aaron.
Oh, I don't know if I go that route, but he is going to get some run because they do need something there to distribute and handle the ball. But that's fine. Plums, okay. I don't know. I'm not going to say Mark Williams now because I just told you that one. We can stick with the Rockets. Go, Amin Thompson. Like the Rockets need to get back on track. Feels like an Amin Thompson type of game. Get them back on track and stuff the stat sheet every which way against a really porous team all over the court. Go Amin Thompson to break it.
Chat was asking about Houston. I guess your Cougars are playing basketball tonight. Are they going to cover? And they want to know about the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes versus Indiana. Are you ready to make a call on that? So that game is not going down, I think, till Monday.
For sure. I'm always ready. I'm born ready, Dean. Cougars, that's a big spread, but they're at home. They should really be able to maybe separate in the second half. We'll see. I'd say yeah, but that's not like a lock or anything. It's going to be a good championship game on Monday night. I think it's going to be a lot better than what the spread indicates or what people think because everybody's on Indiana. I think it's going to be a really good game, and it just comes down to a couple of things. Miami has to get pressure from that defensive line on Mendoza. When he is clean, he's a Heisman winner. When he's pressured, he's not particularly good. Can they get pressure with those defensive ends? If they can do that, they can control that offense, and they'll have a really good shot at winning. You're in Miami, Dean. You like these guys, don't you? You rooting for them? Yeah.
I grew up disliking the Hurricanes. Now I'm just kind of indifferent. I guess I'd be kind of happy if they won.
Yeah.
I just for whatever reason, I don't know why. I grew up disliking the Hurricanes, disliking the Dolphins, and I grew up in South Florida, which is kind of weird. But all my friends, were fans for the most part of those teams, but. Now I'm just sort of fine with them. I wasn't like a Florida State guy or a Florida guy. I just didn't really have a team. Now my team is UCF, I guess. But
Yeah, and then on the flip side, Miami has an NFL size offensive line, and they've been able to run in the playoffs on everybody. If they can establish Fletcher getting downhill in the run game and give Indiana problems that way, they can win this game. They can certainly win this game. But they're no doubt about it, they're the underdogs for a reason. So it should be fun, though.
I'm really curious as far as the fans, like how I think Indiana's going to travel well because they got to be super excited that they're never in the national championship game, right? So they got to be pumped. The Hurricanes fans were spoiled many, many years ago, and they would never go to the game, even when they were like a top 5 team, unless it was an event game. So, like, I think I'm curious to see like what and it's in Miami, obviously, not Miami Gardens, not really Miami. Close enough.
So the get-in price, Dean, is like $5K. Get in the door price is $5K, and a lot of that is because Indiana is really pumped for, like, if I don't know if you saw the game on Thursday or Friday night, it was 90% Indiana. Their travel. Indiana has, and I found this interesting when I found this out. They have the biggest alumni base across the United States.
Really?
Yes.
Ohio State or Michigan?
Indiana. 860, almost 1 million alumni in the United States right now. So they travel real well. You know, they got the big money guys. So they're going to take over Miami if Miami doesn't watch out. The price is so big that tells me Indiana's traveling well. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I gave it a Google. I wanted to see what the next teams were, but yeah. Penn State also. Yeah, Penn State is second. There's Michigan 3, Ohio State 5. Okay. UCLA
10 schools.
Yeah. My brother was telling me he might go to the game, but I'm not sure if he knows it's 5K or not. So he doesn't live around here, but he's thinking about flying in for it. But we'll see. Maybe. All right. Crunch time is knocking on the door. We have Kirkwood. We have TJ Zwarych. We have Kevin Roth. Let's do it. Let's seamlessly transition to crunch time right now. Kevin, things?
Yeah, man.
How cold is it going to be in Chicago, Kevin?
Probably in the teens. Feels like temperatures in the single digits is my guess, but it's a little early to know the specifics. But damn cold is the answer. It's going to be damn cold.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweeting out, and again, like you said, obviously it's too early to say, but they were speculating it might be like one of the coldest games ever in Chicago. And is that's in the realm of possibilities? I don't know what the power rankings are.
I think I saw if it's 11 degrees, that would make it the 10th coldest ever.
Okay.
And that, I would say that's like on the extreme end of what it could be. I think it probably comes in a little warmer than that, but in the teens, it would be my guess.
Yeah, I trust you more than any tweet, but that tweet that we saw, Dean, it was saying the feels like with the wind will get to potentially in the negative 10 to 15 Fahrenheit.
Which is just a regular Tuesday for you, TJ, right?
Yeah.
I have probably, I'd say, been to over a dozen CFL football games at that temperature.
Oof. And that's outside? They do that outside?
Yeah, no roof. They don't have the money for the roof.
Insane.
I Googled it, TJ. We were talking about this earlier, myself and TJ, and yeah, no roof there for the Rough Riders up there in Saskatoon. But
that's in Regina, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Kirkwood, everything good? Everything all right?
Everything's great.
Bringing the enthusiasm. John, anything else before we step aside and get out here and make way for crunch time?
Yeah, Dean, just one question for you, Dean, then I'm going to put it on mute and get out of here, but you never gave us the answer to the thing today. Oh,
you're right. Yeah, my bad. Today's Television Tuesday. Yeah. My apologies. Thank you for reminding me. IBC took it down in 2. Queen was just supposed to. It makes sense when you know the answer, but it really throws you off. But not really. Queen Castle. So Queen is a player named Derek Queen, and Derek Queen is a rookie. And clue number 5, of course, was Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is also a rookie. The rookie stars Nathan Fillion, who previously was on a show called Castle. Castle was 2. I paired Queen and Castle together. Get everybody off the sense, but I guess not. It did not work.
And IBC guessed Castle after you said Queen, and so that means IBC could have banked it in 1, but thought you were trying to throw him off even more than that, and so went a further layer past.
Yeah, I thought I had a nice little setup with Queen being a red herring, if you will, I guess. But Queen, Derek Queen's a rookie. Cooper Flagg's a rookie. They wear uniforms in the show. The rookie, and the rookie takes place in Los Angeles. Never seen it before, but I don't know why that's what popped in my head. But that was today's television show. Roth, it is all yours.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the industry. Going to walk you up to lock, probably, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. And we're going to answer some questions. Of course, we're going to give you some bangers, some winners as well. We got TJ Zwarych in the house, my favorite Canadian. That's right. You have supplanted Alanis Morissette as my favorite Canadian.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I got one of few lists I'm above, you know, SGA, Steve Nash. Feels good. Feels nice. And so I appreciate that. Looking forward to diving into this slate. We'll definitely have to be here at least until lock if we don't get the Jamal Murray news before lock, because that's going to be very integral. And if we don't get it before lock, we will get it within the first minute after lock. And so that's the biggest thing we are waiting on. We have, I think, pretty much everything else in terms of injury news. I don't think we have anybody else questionable that we are waiting on for this slate. We have one early game it's still a late start, but one game right at 7:30 Eastern time. And then all the rest on the slate start right at 8 p.m. Okay. And so the Murray news we should get either right before lock or right after lock. And I might adjust this if we get that news before lock, but if it's after lock, I'm just not going to play the first game. I don't think you have to.
Yeah. Okay. That is a very good note. And I appreciate that kind of little update. Kirkdiese in the house as well. Kirk, hello. How are you? Who's your favorite Canadian?
Man, I mean, Alanis Morissette, that's one of my go-to karaoke songs.
Which one? And, you ought to know.
No, it's ironic.
Oh, sure.
I mean, come on. That, and then there's another one I do, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. It's another girl, chick says it. I don't know. Oh, Stay. You say I only hear what I want to.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's because if people get involved,
it gets the crowd going.
That's the song that gets the crowd going. It's provocative. Gets the people going.
And they didn't see it coming, you know?
No, never would they expect that from you. How you doing, man? That's good to hear your karaoke moves.
Doing well. Yeah, just trying to give a little extra value to the chat here. The slates, I say just throw out the first game unless we get news like TJ, and then we're gonna have all the news. Everything's gonna drop at the same time. So
okay. Looking forward to that. Can we confirm Sum 41 is from Canada? Is that Sum 41?
We can. You nailed it. However, Stay, that is not from Alanis Morissette.
That's okay.
That is Lisa Loeb.
I don't think he was saying that.
I said
just for karaoke. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I went to Alanis Morissette from Canadian, and then that happens to be one of my go-to karaoke songs. That also has another woman's song there.
Right.
I'm following now. I'm on the track.
You.
I was off-roading for a little bit, but I'm back on there now.
If I sing karaoke, it's 100% chance that it will be some sort of like hump the floor R&B every time.
Return,
maybe some Montel Jordan, maybe some Keith Sweat, and I am probably overserved.
Now, if we're ever together, I want Roth singing Pony.
Pony, I'm done. There's going to be something sexy, and I'm going to be humping the floor, and it's not a great scene, but that's what always happens. Hey, enough about karaoke. Let's talk about this slate. Let's in fact dive right into it. We mentioned maybe just punt the first game entirely until we get the news. So let's talk about what we are doing. Dean says video evidence does confirm. I've been at some RotoGrinders karaoke parties doing exactly that. It's not a good look.
Was there a mechanical bull involved too or anything?
That was a different year, but that's happened as well. I need to stop. I need to be stopped. Point guard, DraftKings, that's where we like to start.
Kevin actually is the reason there aren't RG parties anymore. It had nothing to do with the pandemic happening and then people never really going back. It just had to do with Kevin Roth being inappropriate with the karaoke.
Shout out to Mr. Relevant who says Roth puts the grinders in RotoGrinders. And all right, let's move on. Kirk, what do we do on point guard DraftKings?
Bone, bones. What you gonna do? And ain't nowhere to hide. Bones Highland, baby.
Yes.
You have to play him. I think personally. If he's 3,100, they're gonna have such. They just don't have much with Anthony Edwards out, with Gobert out. Conley's going to get minutes too, and you can play them both. You can play one or the other. Give me the younger guy who's I know can light it up at times. Sorry about that. I'm struggling over here. Anyways, Bones Highland, I think you just have to play him, or you have to play Conley, or you have to play both. So make your choice there, but I say just play him. From there, you can also play Dante DiVincenzo. I think he's a good play. Kevin Porter Jr. I think is a sneaky, much better play now. Obviously, you're gonna want some runbacks in this Minnesota-Milwaukee game. It's all about this Minnesota-Milwaukee game and then the Denver game, and we're waiting on the Denver news. But if Jamal Murray plays, he's an awesome play. The whole offense is going to go through him. He's been battling an illness. I assume if he plays, he's good to go. So like that, you can play Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There's like that. I don't know what narrative that everyone thinks they're going to beat the Spurs this time because they're not going to get swept to the Spurs and they're going to really come out and put it on them. I think they've tried, but I bet the Spurs. I bet the Spurs again tonight. I'm like, if they're going to keep giving 8.5 points in this matchup, I'm going to keep taking it until they prove to me not. But he should be up for the game for sure. This is the
best rivalry we've had in the NBA now since
it's been a minute since we've had.
Warriors. Well, now that Wemby's talking, chatting it up, it's great. Yeah.
We need an all-time playoff series for that to really ramp up between these two teams. But I just love that there's talking. I love that there's two teams that hate each other. That's fun.
Yeah, openly disliking each other is great for the game. I'm here for it. Okay, anything else you want to?
A couple more. I just give a couple more.
Please.
Amin Thompson. Yes, it's against the Bulls, and that's a great thing. That's a great matchup. However, everybody is out. Josh Giddey's out, Kobe White's out. They're gonna have. It's going to be worrisome for them to stay in this game, but we see it every night in NBA. Crazy stuff happens. The Utah Jazz scrubs beat. They won last night. It's just crazy stuff happens. And if this game stays somewhat competitive and the Rockets haven't been, performing as great as we thought they would at this point, and I think they're a great team, but I could see a triple-double potential for Amin Thompson or even Şengün in this one. So I like that. And then my last thing, I think Tyler Hero is going to – if you're going to play a game from this player from this first game, Tyler Hero would be my guy, just because the price is kind of down. His minutes have been down, but he's getting close to being fully back, and he may just be fully back tonight. And the pace that they play at is just good. He's 6,900. He could have a good game. So those are my guys tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. TJ, your thoughts at point?
Yeah, Bones is the guy. Even if he doesn't start, I still think he is the better option of the two point guards for Minnesota here. If I'm choosing between Bones and Conley, I'm still going Bones, even if it's Conley starting as my primary choice. Conley becomes more valuable to me then. I don't really like him off the bench all that much because I'm worried if he gets 22, 23 minutes, he's just not going to get there. I need 28, 29, 30 from Conley, even at only 3K. And so I'll probably play one of those guys in every lineup. And if Bones is starting, it'll be 90% Bones, 10% Conley, 95% Bones, 5% Conley. And then if Conley's starting, it's probably more like a 75-25 situation for me, where it's still Bones as my number one guy, both cash and tournaments, but not quite as aggressively if Conley happens to be the one in the starting lineup. I would still like the usage they get off the bench. I just would worry about the minute ceiling in that spot. Outside of those two guys, DiVincenzo, another Minnesota guy that's a really great play today. If Jamal Murray's in, he's one of the best plays on the slate. If Jamal Murray's out, Jalen Pickett is one of the best plays on the slate. Everybody else other than those guys is going to be low owned today. SGA, Amin Thompson, like Kirk mentioned. with like we just got word that there's going to be a minutes limit for Giannis. They're going to try and limit him to like 30 to 31 minutes. Miles Turner's already out. Maybe that just means a little extra usage opens up for a Ryan Rollins or a Kevin Porter Jr., who I think are fine in large field stuff, but no other priorities.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to shooting guard, TJ.
Bones does have shooting guard eligibility as well. That's one of the reasons why his optimal rate is so damn high. Like you can see, he's going to be 65% owned in our projections, basically in line with his optimal rate. Oh, every time I get a notification, I just want to look. Oh, is it Jamal Murray? Oh, is it Jamal Murray? It's not. It's just the Miami Heat starting lineup. So Bones, the number one option here if you're not playing him at point guard. Outside of that, there's a lot, and like same with Pickett. That's not. It's so nice that both of them have point guard, shooting guard eligibility on DraftKings. We've just been limited so much to like, okay, I want to play 6 point guards and no shooting guards lately. It's awesome that these potential 2 best plays both have the point guard and shooting guard eligibility. And so Pickett, again, if Jamal Murray is out, looks really good. Other than those 2, I'm probably most likely to spend up Kevin Durant, Trey Murphy, maybe even a Stephon Castle. But it's really all about Bones and Shepherd. And then if you want lower owned pivots, sorry, Bones and Pickett, I meant Shepherd was a guy, Reed Shepherd for Houston is a guy I might use as a low-owned pivot. And then Jalen Clark for Minnesota is somebody that I'm kind of looking at as potentially a pivot off of the Bones and Mike Conley chalk and just say, hey, what if Dante DiVincenzo actually plays most of the minutes at point guard and then Jalen Clark closes this game as a wing, something like that.
You better check that fantasy point per minute.
Oh, I know it's bad.
Okay.
I just
when you're
know
bad mouthing Conley, just know if you're bad mouthing Conley, that
the difference is he'll be half Conley's ownership though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jamal Murray available to play.
Oh,
it's all right.
Okay, so Pickett is a no-go, and that makes Jamal Murray a great play, a good play.
Yeah, like I think Jamal Murray, Bones Highland are your cash point guard, shooting guard now.
Damn. I mean, he's almost 10K, but
yeah, he's a good play. That he's not like they had this debate on the last show. He's not a lock per se, even though Chop said he was a lock, and then he actually redefined his definition of lock once he saw the price tag. He's a great play, but you certainly don't have to play him at that price point.
He is, for what it's worth, the 4th highest RG value on the slate and the highest of all the spend ups.
I like him. I'm playing him.
Yeah, I agree. Like you're not somebody you're playing in 100% of lineups, but a great, like probably the best spend up.
Yeah. Someone said Pickett's out. No, to be clear, I meant Pickett is now out of my lineup because Murray is in. He's not actually out, but I should confirm with Murray in, are we playing Pickett or no? No, I didn't think so. Okay. Kirk, shooting guard, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you just end up going Bones here, and you're going to play Jamal Murray or one of these other good point. There's a lot of good point guard options, and that's how you're going to do it on DK. I think the Trey Murphy is another good call. I mean, the guy just goes nuts when he's on. I mean, he can put up massive fantasy points. So I like this game. This game should be competitive. There should be tons of fantasy points in it. So Trey Murphy is a good run back. Again, I'll mention Tyler Hero and. I think Devin Booker never seems to do it, but he is going to benefit from this pace against the Heat. So it might not be a bad time to take a shot with him tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Small forward.
All right. Small forward. So I like Jaden McDaniels a lot. This is like pretty gross position tonight. It's a very gross position tonight on DraftKings for sure. Jaden McDaniels would be my guy. I think Io DeSumo is playable, but he's not even that cheap. There just isn't a lot of Bulls players available for especially guards and ball handlers, and he'll handle some ball, but he's not a great fantasy point per minute guy. I don't know. I think he's okay if you needed it. I think you can play Jalen Williams. He'd be like the one. He'd be my second favorite OKC guy. Shea I would play, or Jalen Williams would be the next. I think Kuzma could benefit. We don't have a starting lineup yet, right?
No.
So we may get, for all we know, we may get Kuzma center tonight with Miles Turner being out. 4,300. That would be pretty intriguing against Minnesota, who without Gobert. Naz Reid is such a terrible rim protector. That's great for Giannis, but a guy like Kuzma with people out could benefit as well. And so could Bobby Portis when we get there. But they might go Jericho Sims. I don't know what they're going to do. But you may see some center minutes out of Kuzma, and those historically have been pretty good from a fantasy point per minute. Peyton Watson, I was going to be on if Murray was out at 7,500. I think no need for him anymore. This is gross. It's guys like Dylan Brooks. Durant is a good spend for a high guy, but like this may be a blowout and it may be a game he kind of backs off. But I don't know. Maybe TJ has some better thoughts.
TJ, small forward.
I am gonna have my first set of lineups build here very soon. Now that we do have that Denver dues in advance, and I think the one guy from that first game I'm going to include is Dylan Brooks. As you can see here, he is the highest. It's only 18%, but highest optimal rate of all the small forwards, and he's coming in under owned. So just based on that, I am going to get to a little bit of Dylan Brooks. I like Champagnie a fair amount. Spending up to Jalen Williams, Kevin Durant, I think it's fine. It's such a uninteresting position that I'm kind of tempted to look at Peyton Watson and go, you know what? I don't care Murray's back. I'm still playing him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to power forward.
Peyton Watson is another guy that you can play here, but it's if somebody has power forward eligibility and small forward eligibility, you're going to want to play him at small forward instead, because power forward is just a much, much stronger position with guys like Bobby Portis now as a value, Naz Reid in the mid tier. Aaron Brooks is projecting super well. Julius Randle is projecting incredibly well. And then there's tournament plays who aren't going to be very highly owned, like Şengün, like Williamson, even Giannis on a minutes limit, that are totally viable in this spot. So it is a really, really strong position today, much stronger than we are used to at the power forward. As you can see, Naz Reid, 60% optimal rate, 55% for Gordon, 44% for Randle. So those are three guys you're going to want to be jamming into a cash game today. Maybe Naz Reid, you can play at center. Same with like a Bobby Portis if you want to, but it is a real strong position.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Kirk, your thoughts at power forward.
Yeah. I'm just going to say Doc Rivers is a liar. He was supposed to have this minutes limits and he went a couple minutes over, and that's why people are asking him, and he's saying we're going to try to keep him around 31, and they will, but he could go 33. He could go 34. He's already said that Giannis needs to do everything for this team right now. And with Miles Turner out too now as well. And all you need is 31 minutes, quite frankly, of Giannis, with no Rudy Gobert to protect the rim. Naz Reid is so beatable. I love Giannis tonight. I don't care if they say that. It's the way he worded it. It doesn't make me really care.
Gotcha. Okay.
Naz Reid is just too cheap. He's going to play much more minutes. He's not in that same bench situation where he comes in and is the high usage guy anymore. Julius Randle will be the high usage guy, but he's still good and he's still going to play a bunch of minutes, and he's too cheap for the amount of minutes he's going to play tonight. So I like him. I love Randle. I hope he doesn't guard Giannis and Giannis doesn't guard him, but it may end up happening, but I don't care anyway. Randle is going to, when you're missing Anthony Edwards, the usage is going to go to him. This is his moment to shine. I think Bobby Portis, I think Bobby Portis is like sneaky. I think he'll be low owned. And he could get a minutes increase tonight. It's a good situation with Miles Turner out. It's a good matchup with Rudy Gobert out. So I like that. I love Şengün. I think he could triple double tonight if this stays close. So I like him. And I love Aaron Gordon. Even if his minutes are kind of capped, he did see a nice increase where they went over what they wanted with him too. Adelson was saying the other night, but he played 32 minutes. He had 28% usage. He's cheap. Him and Murray have to do everything for this team. I mean, if you've seen this team without Joker play, they're just so thin. So those two guys are the guys.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to center, Kirk. I I really want Wemby, but then I unclicked him. I don't know. Can I play him? How many minutes am I getting out of him? Should I play him?
I mean, okay, so I just said you can play Giannis at 31 minutes for 10,000 or whatever. What is he? How much was he? 10.5, 10.8. And Wemby, who just played 29 minutes, I have him projected for 29 minutes.
Yeah.
Played 27. I think this is a big game that they'll let him go. And I think he could sniff 30 minutes. He's starting. It's not the greatest matchup, but he's been awesome against OKC. And I think, has he really? The team has been awesome. He hasn't had huge games, but he hasn't played big minutes either in that stretch. So I guess you can play Wemby tonight. He's cheap, 9,500. Yeah, go for it. Other than that, the guys are, Naz Reid is also center eligible. Sengun again is also center eligible. The Bulls are thinned out. Jalen Smith is someone you could play. Derek Queen, 6,600. I just like his game in general, especially from a fantasy perspective. So I like him. And I've heard some chatter about Mark Williams. Probably not into it against Bam, but he is 5,500, so it's tempting.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, thoughts at center?
Yeah, I love the idea of spending up for low-owned Wemby. I think that is a just terrific spot to take a shot on in this one with him only being 9,500. That ceiling is still so high, even in sub 30 minutes. So Wemby projecting for sub 10% ownership. Love that on this slate. Naz Reid, if you're not playing him at power forward, this is like the cash game option here. And then I like Portis. Vucevic is fine. I like Şengün. Queen is, low floor, high ceiling. And then if you're running 150 lineups, I think two punts that are in play are Messi and Sims. Probably Messi first choice, but I'll probably have like 2% Sims and 150.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Guys, we have 16, 17 minutes until lock. Want to make sure everybody is getting Pick Labs, the newest Fantasy Labs feature. Lets you scan the best player props and pick 'em bets in seconds. It happens in seconds. It's that fast. And it's just like if you're on Underdog, Prize Picks, any sports books, when you see something like Pick Labs builds the slip, sends it straight to the book of your choice, which is a really cool feature for a limited time. You can get a Fantasy Labs DFS subscription. You get free access into Pick Labs. With that, visit fantasylabs.com/pricing. Use the code FLEX20 for $20 off your first payment. I've literally not heard anything but positivity surrounding it, so I highly recommend you check it out. Let's flip it over to FanDuel. TJ, I'm going to let you lead us off in that department. What are we doing on FDPG, homie?
Gonna lead off again, Roth? Come on.
No, Kirk let us off. No?
I think you're right.
I think I let us out.
You're right. I'm an idiot.
I'm on.
Jamal Murray, Bones Highland, 2 cash game plays, 2 strong tournament plays as well. Murray should be over 10K. He's 9.9. He should probably be like 10.8, 10.9 without Nikola Jokic. And then Bones Highland's more expensive than DraftKings, but barely 4K. Still totally fine for him, whether he starts or not. I would get like 80% Bones in 150 on FanDuel, maybe 5 to 10% Conley, whereas we're projecting Conley for 20% and Bones for 40. If Conley were to start and Bones comes off the bench, then I'd probably be closer to that 40-20 range. But again, like on DraftKings, prefer Bones over Conley, even if he's the one coming off the bench. DiVincenzo, Amen Thompson. That's it for the main guys. SGA in large field tournaments, I don't mind. Same with Kevin Porter and Ryan Rollins.
Yeah. Okay. Kirk, point guard.
Yeah, I agree. It's Bones. It's Jamal Murray. It's the same exact people. It's Dante DiVincenzo because cheap in this situation with Edwards out. It's also a little bit of revenge for him against his former squad from Milwaukee. KPJ. Playable. Amen Thompson, I think, that is a potential triple-double in this matchup, but you got to get the right, game to break out and to stay competitive. And last, I'll just say it again. I think Devin Booker is going to have a big game that he's soon enough, and this is like a matchup he could excel in with the high pace. So, yeah, those are the guys again.
Okay, shooting guard, Kirk.
All right, shooting guard. It is, we can go with Jamal Murray again, or here at shooting guard eligible. Dante Vincenzo again, Kevin Porter Jr. again, Amon Thompson again. New faces that I would play here. Trey Murphy. I love Trey Murphy. You can play him at small forward as well, but like him. Ryan Rollins is a decent play. Devin Booker again. And then someone asked about Alex Caruso in chat. I do think he's playable. I wouldn't get my hopes up for a big score, but when you're talking about, he could beat like a Conley potentially, because with Dort out, they could need his defense a lot in this matchup. It's not the greatest sexy play, but he is playable.
Okay, TJ, shooting guard.
Yeah, I agree with that call. I don't like the idea of playing Conley, playing Caruso, but fills up a tough position at because you can play him at small forward as well, and he's stupidly cheap. Maybe he gets you 20 points, and that's all you need for that price tag. Other guys that I like today, it's a lot of the same names: Jamal Murray, Champagny I like a lot, Trey Murphy I like quite a bit, Amen Thompson is a spend up. I don't think Grayson Allen or Dylan Brooks are terrible tournament plays, but I'm mostly avoiding that first game still.
Yeah. Okay. Shooting guard. Small forward. TJ.
Small forward, we are able to play Champagny and Murphy here as well. Peyton Watson, I don't think is going to come in at that 20+% ownership that we're currently projecting. I think that was maybe a bit of a hedge with the Murray news, and so with him being ruled in, I think Peyton Watson comes a little lower than that, and I do think he's a good tournament play. As is Jaden McDaniels. He's more expensive on FanDuel, but I like him better than on DraftKings because he is a guy that can reach a ceiling by getting a ton of steals, and that is more valuable on FanDuel. Don't mind Durant. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Kirk, small forward.
Jaden McDaniels, Trey Murphy. Buzelis is a guy that I think will be on the court for a ton tonight for the Bulls. Like, he's going to need to score if they're going to stay any competitive in this game. So I can see that working out. Kuzma, I gave my pitch before. I mean, he's only 4,300. He could play some center minutes. He could play a bunch of minutes. He sucks, but can have some good fantasy games if you catch him right. So I think it's in him tonight. And then again, I'll say Jalen Williams potentially.
Okay. Power forward.
All right. Power forward gets a little better here. We got Giannis. Price tag stinks, but I think he's going to smash tonight personally. So even if it is 31 minutes, and I don't believe Doc Rivers, like I said, for a minute, Julius Randle is going to soak up massive usage, over 30%, has a huge assist rate. The offense is going to run through him. Also should pick up some rebounds with Gobert out. So I think, like I said, I hope it's not Giannis guarding him. I hope he's not guarding Giannis for foul trouble, but I think there's a good possibility that he could go nuke and triple-double watch for him tonight. Aaron Gordon, we already said I like him. I like Şengün. Zion. I mean, every stud has a minutes limit. We don't have Tyrese Maxey tonight. We don't have, so all these guys, this is the playing field we have. There's only 5 games. So I don't think this is a huge ceiling slate in general. So I think these guys are even more valuable tonight, if that makes sense, even with 31 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then Naz Reid is just too cheap. 7,500 is more expensive than DK for sure, but still too cheap for the amount of minutes that he should see tonight. And you can play Wemby here as well.
TJ, your thoughts to 4?
Cash is super easy. You play Julius Randle and Aaron Gordon, and then you play Naz Reid at center. Done deal. Tournaments, there are some really strong plays at this position, much like DraftKings. Zion, Bobby Portis, Şengün. Jalen Smith is popping a little bit. If he starts, I like him. If not somebody that I'm quite as interested in. We've talked about Watson and a fair amount, McDaniels a fair amount, Jalen Williams I think is okay. I'm personally more on the Wemby train than the Giannis train if I am spending up for one of those contrarian big guys, but I think both fine tournament options.
I really want Zion, but it would cost me like a Jamal Murray, so I can't do it. But I feel like that is a great tournament play.
Well, find a way to play Queen.
Oh, I did play him.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
I did play him. TJ, your thoughts at center, please. By the way, Bay is in.
Naz Reid for cash tournaments. basically half the guys we just named at power forward: Şengün, Wemby, Derek Queen, Chet Holmgren, Bobby Portis. But like Nas is definitely your cash guy, and tournaments are fairly wide open tonight.
Okay. Kirkdiese, center.
Yeah, I agree with Nas Reed. Bobby Portis, again, his price is nice here on FanDuel, where he can get some steals and blocks too as well. I don't think it's crazy to play Chet Holmgren. I don't think it's crazy to play Wemby, I've already said. I love Şengün. And like I said, you play some Derek Queen. So if you're not playing Zion, I think Derek Queen is a nice alternative.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I got a question for you. I've got 5,700 at small forward on DraftKings. I don't play Jaime Jaquez, do I? Do I play Dosunmu instead?
Dosunmu over Jaquez.
You're
$500 to play Champagne, though.
Or Jaden McDaniels, yeah.
Champagne and McDaniels are significantly better than both Dosunmu and Jaquez in this spot, but if you're going to pick between Dosunmu and Jaquez, it would be Dosunmu. Grayson Allen would be fine too.
Okay. All right.
You could play Kuzma and take some of that salary and go up somewhere.
I can't do it with the Kuz. Okay, we're going to open it up to everybody's questions because it's not all about me. It's about our wonderful viewers. I do want to remind our fantastic viewers, hit the thumbs up for us. This show costs you absolutely nothing. It is free. We're just trying to give you the best plays that we got, answer your questions, and all that we ask is that you hit the thumbs up for us. Smash that like button. As some would say, hit the like or take a hike. I don't really quite feel that way, but I do think you should hit the like. Let's see what we've got. TJ, if I'm playing Denver and Minnesota, should I fade Giannis in a GPP?
Yeah. You certainly don't have to play Giannis. Playing Giannis is going to be different.
Okay. Kirk, D-Rock, DKGBP, my boy Ayo or Fears?
Go Ayo.
Okay. New Generation says, Kirk, DKGPP, Misi with either Zion or Trey Murphy or Queen and Ayo. I ended up with Queen and Ayo. This is kind of where I landed.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. TJ, FanDuel, is it crazy to play Zeke? Oh, I thought they were talking about like Najee Marshall. I have misunderstood this. I've seen the name. Zeke Najee tonight. I actually saw a few people asking that in the YouTube and on the Discord now.
Fine for large field tournaments. Probably wouldn't do it in a single entry. Certainly not in a cash game. He's going to get you 15 points or he's going to get you 40 and nothing really in between. So tournaments, he's fine. But large field only, he's coming off the bench. Good point per minute producer, but we really have no idea how many minutes he's going to get. If it is 21 like we were projecting, probably going to have a solid game. It could be 12. It could be 30.
What's the cost? What's his price on the sites?
4,300.
Kind of interested. Okay. TJ, Kuz or Herder?
From a projection standpoint, Misi is $1,000 cheaper and projects better. It's just with Najee's got a bit of a higher floor than Misi, or a higher ceiling than Misi does.
Yeah. Okay. Kuz or Herder, TJ, DK single entry?
Kuz.
Scrolling up in the YouTube just a little bit. Let's see. Kirk, Jay Williams, Misi, or Caruso?
So he's talking about the bad Jay Williams. I kind of like Caruso tonight with Lou Dort out in this game. That's supposed to mean a lot to them. So I'll take Caruso.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, God, I just made lineup adjustments I shouldn't have done. How many Minnesota guys is too many Minnesota guys in DK cash? Kirk?
5 is too many. 4 is right.
Okay. TJ, got a question for you. 7,200 left at the util. DK GPP, Bam or Hero?
Neither, but if you're choosing one, hero.
God, I'm playing freaking Dylan Harper. I'm just obsessed with him, and I know I shouldn't. I don't know. I think he's really, really good at basketball.
But that doesn't matter if he's only going to play 20 minutes.
I know. Well, if he plays 20 minutes, I don't know. I don't know why, TJ. I'm obsessed with him. I can't not click him. Let's see. Kirk, is Caruso a good cash FanDuel play?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can you play Bones and Conley together, DK single entry, or that's no?
Yes, you're gonna get all the point guard minutes. You might see some overlap at that much, but you're basically paying $6K for them two together, which is nothing. So it could definitely work out.
Don says, just remember, whatever players they tell you to play, they probably play the opposite. They just get the chalk up and pick the other people. He does say, just kidding. I assure you, literally never happens. Like that is
okay. Just kidding, because like you know what the problem? Like I end up not playing because I'm sitting here on a show doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the most truth of it all. But I am playing a little tonight.
Well, there are. Let's see. In the main DraftKings contest, there are 71,343 people. So we will impact about 343 of those people,
right?
While the other 71,000 will be unaffected by those takes.
Yeah. And to be clear, we're just telling the truth anyway. I don't know. I know you're just kidding. That kind of pisses me off when people. It's like when people accuse me of being like, Kevin's just telling the weather the wrong way so that he can win his $2. And I'm like, just no one here's lying. We're just literally giving the best information we can. Anyways, I don't know why that fired me up today. Hey, if you have to leave one of them out, TJ, Zion, Wemby, or Booker, who's getting left out?
Booker by a lot.
Okay, great. A few more in the Discord. TJ, DK last piece. O'Neal, Adams, Pickett. Royce. It's Royce. It's Royce.
Yeah, I guess Royce O'Neal, but
it's gross. That's what you say.
I kind of want
not too gross though. No, it's not too gross.
Yeah.
What about Portis?
Kuz.
Yeah. TJ, another one for you. DK GPP. Portis, Ao, or Kuz, Buzelis?
Portis, Ao.
Okay. Can we fade Mike Conley, or do we need Kirk? But let me see which. What he didn't specify site or type, but you can sure as hell fade him in tournaments, right?
You can always fade a guy who's out there playing and he's older than Head Chopper. I mean, older than Head Chopper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always fade.
Yeah. We're less than a minute. Is Royce great at small forward for today?
I think that person was saying Royce is the answer. He is a great play.
Okay. I got you. Yeah.
Right. I don't think I have any Royce in 150 lineups.
Okay. Are we sleeping on Gillespie? I love Royce's game log. Are we sleeping on Gillespie?
Everybody on Phoenix is healthy. Nobody is, other than Devin Booker and maybe Dylan Brooks, will play over 30 minutes. So that's why none of these guys are really exciting.
Okay. Kirk, Jay Williams or Misi? I can't afford Caruso.
Take Misi.
Yeah, Misi. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No. We've answered all the questions. We've given all the plays. We will ask for the thumbs up one last time. And we have hit the lock. Perfect timing, my friends, to clear on out of here for TJ.
Final thing. We still don't have the Minnesota starting lineup. And so if Mike Conley is not in the starting lineup, you don't have to play him anywhere at all. Bones is by far the better play. If Mike Conley is in the starting lineup, in cash, you could play both. In tournaments, I still prefer Highland over Conley.
Okay. Good way to close
and
things
cash,
out.
I still prefer Highland over Conley. But if Conley's starting, there is in our optimal lineup, both are in it right now, in our number one optimal.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. For TJ, for Kirk, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.